Alright, somebody sent me a message asking me when to teach the martial arts. He's saying he's 17 years old and he has a friend that wants to learn. So he says he knows a little bit, he could teach his friend a little bit, or he could let his friend go to the martial arts schools around him that are, in his eyes, corrupted. My thoughts on it. I could give feedback on how I feel about it at this moment, running a martial arts school at the age of 36, and then starting the martial arts as a teenager. You know, how I feel about it. You know, my children, you know, my oldest son is 12, so say he was in the same situation, or say he's even 17, and then he has a friend that wants to learn. Well, should my 17-year-old son teach him? You know, I say no. You know, my son should bring his friend to the school. All my children, if they have any friends that want to learn, they should bring their friends to the school and learn the right way, learn with me. And then my children will assist in teaching them while we're in the school. That also protects the business of the martial arts, which I feel needs to be protected. It's if people are learning the wrong way and they're not paying for it, and then they're thinking that it's the right way, then they undervalue the true martial arts and its teachings, and it hurts the martial art businesses. The less martial arts schools that are out there, then the less that the martial arts can reach out to the people. Without martial arts schools, then the art will continue to die until it's something where where you don't ever see it anymore. Something like maybe sword fighting or something, or you don't really see that, you know, or Filipino stick fighting, you know, you don't really see that. Like, you know, when you got art, or like using the bow and arrow, you know, like you don't see a school around where all they do focus on is the bow and arrow. Like, there's certain arts that if you don't preserve it, they're gonna become extinct. You know, and martial arts should not become extinct. And part of the way to keep it alive is to have martial arts schools available for people to learn from, but then have it be legitimate martial arts schools, authentic martial arts schools, where you really truly have qualified, you know, masters, sifus, teachers, instructors, you know, that are running the school. When you have somebody who was a former student of the school, and then they start teaching their friends, and not just their friends, but the entire public for free, then that makes it really difficult for the martial arts school to stay alive. Even though they have the authentic teachings, the former student could corrupt the teachings, and he could undercut the price of the school, or just teach for free, and then the school doesn't retain enough students to keep the doors open. And then they effectively go out of business. So you see what's happening similar in the retail industry with Amazon. You know, they kind of have almost a monopoly, you know, over the market. You know, Amazon, and then there's eBay, and then Walmart is trying to compete with Amazon online, but they're even struggling to compete with Amazon. So there's a lot of retail industries closing down because of Amazon. A lot of malls are shutting down. Places like Sears and Radio Shack, Macy's, even a few Sam's Clubs shut down. There's a lot of retail industries shutting down because of Amazon. Now, when you're talking about products that are just, it's something that is just a fixed product, like no matter if you buy it from Amazon or Walmart, it's the same exact product. Like that is just all price point. If you pay half the price on Amazon than at Walmart, then obviously you're gonna go to Amazon because it's half the price and it's the same exact product. But with the martial arts, it's never the same exact product or service, because martial arts is an individual expression, a personalized expression. So what a student would learn from me will never be identical to what they'll learn from a student of mine or even a family member of mine, because each individual has a unique energy that they put into the teachings. So it's not ever the same exact product. But people think that they're paying for the same product, but they're not. So that's why I keep going into all these videos talking about the problems with the labelings and how people are mislabeling what they're doing, making it appear as if it's the same thing when it's not. So when you got Bruce Lee, the founder of Jeet Kune Do, when you learn directly from him, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same as some guy that's claiming Jeet Kune Do down the block from where you live. That's not Bruce Lee, or even Danny Insano trying to teach Jeet Kune Do. He's still not Bruce Lee. Chuck Norris trying to teach Jeet Kune Do. He's not Bruce Lee. Michael Joe White trying to teach Jeet Kune Do. He's still not Bruce Lee. So, you'll never get the same exact product, when it comes to the martial arts, because it is an expression of art and creativity. Just like sparring, if you spar against Bruce Lee, it's going to be a different experience than if you spar against Chuck Norris or Van Damme or Steven Seagal or Michael Joe White, or Floyd Mayweather Jr. Every single person, the sparring experience will be different. It'll never be exactly the same. It's like playing a game of billiards. You'll never have the same exact game if you play against even the same person, because every game changes. It's never the same. So martial arts cannot ever be just like a product that's just an assembly line production that gets mass distributed and then people get the same exact product. So if you buy a Toyota Camry 2018 and somebody else buys a Toyota Camry 2018, they're supposed to get the identical product pretty much, but it's not like that for the martial arts. Basically it's not a machine. It's not something that's dead. It's something that's living and growing and changing. So when you learn from somebody, when a student learns from somebody, they're learning from the person that's teaching. So this 17-year-old, I never met him, I never seen him, but just on age alone, it's impossible for him to be a martial arts master at the age of 17. It's just not possible. It's just kind of like the law. You're 18. You're considered an adult at the age of 18 in America. A 15-year-old cannot claim that he's an adult, no matter how intelligent he thinks he is. The law in itself does not even recognize this person as an adult. He's still considered a minor. He can't even make his own decisions. So the law already puts that limitation on age. And that's just how the law is. I didn't create the law, but the law, that's what the law says. So you could think you're as mature as you want, but if you're 15 years old and you want to be intimate, sexually intimate with a 20-year-old, that's against the law. You can't do that. You're not supposed to. So just the law alone already indicates that the 17-year-old is not even an adult, considered an adult. So you're not even an adult, so you're not even qualified just from the age alone to be considered a martial arts master. That alone just, your application is immediately denied just from age alone. Doesn't matter how skillful he is, how tall or how big or how fast, whatever. He's only 17, there's no way. But even if he was older, say he's 20, you gotta use real martial art masters as a comparison measure, like Bruce Lee. So you look at the Bruce Lee when he was alive and he died at 32, look at his level of development. So if you use Bruce Lee as a measuring point and say, all right, Bruce Lee is considered a master of the martial arts. So the 20-year-old, he's not even close to the age 32. Bruce Lee still has 12 years on him. So Bruce Lee has more experience, a lot more experience. This is not just 1 or 2 years, this is 12 years. In addition, Bruce Lee's physical expression is this 20-year-old, can it compare to Bruce Lee? Could it even get close? More than likely not. And then also meditation and spirituality, that grows through age and time. Like the older and wiser you become, the more experience, then your meditation will grow. So a 20-year-old might think that he's spiritual and meditative, but he'll never be more spiritual and meditative than when he turns 32. Because now he has 12 years to practice that meditation. So he might think he's dope, but meditation is something where it grows stronger through time. It's not something that gets, it's not something that changes so sporadically like the body, where somebody might reach the peak of their physical fitness at the age of 25, and then from there it might go downhill. Meditation is something where once you learn it, it grows and gets better through practice. So the 20-year-old would not be qualified. Compared to Bruce Lee, the 20-year-old would not be a qualified master in meditation. And not qualified in life experiences. Because martial arts is not just about fighting. It's about teaching a person about life. So the 32-year-old master, like Bruce Lee, would be able to share his life experiences to help each student in the class grow. The 20-year-old can never measure up to that because he doesn't have enough life experiences to measure up. He's not even at the age where he can legally drink. He's not even 21, he's only 20. I mean, he's not even at the age of where he even graduated college. He doesn't have enough life experiences to share. He doesn't have enough of a mastery of meditation to teach anybody. As far as physical fitness is concerned, like meditation, the longer that you practice, the more that you could really teach somebody to become really physically fit in a healthy way. because of that experience. Now, the 20-year-old might be a little more fit, could do certain things, maybe a few more pull-ups, maybe a few more push-ups, maybe he might bench just a little bit more, but that's just because of his age. But it doesn't mean that his knowledge and his intelligence and his training methods, that he would be able to pass that on to the student, because he doesn't have enough experience in that area. Whereas when you have somebody who's 32, who was already fit, super fit at the age of 20, when the 32-year-old was 20, he was even more fit than this other 20-year-old. But then he keeps training and he's still just as fit or even more fit. He has all those life experiences of training for all those years to share those experiences with the incoming student. And the same thing goes with the technique. Your understanding of each technique grows through time. Now, your physical abilities might slow down just a little bit. You might be just a little bit slower, just not a little bit, weaker, a little bit not as flexible. But as far as teaching is concerned, you are more qualified to teach than the 20-year-old, because you have all those years of experience and you understand the techniques deeper. You understand the techniques of fitness deeper and the combative techniques deeper. Now, you might not be able to execute it as how you were able to execute it back when you were 20, but you will be a better teacher, a better mentor. So if you take this random 20-year-old out the picture and you just compare Bruce Lee at 32 to the Bruce Lee at 20, it's very clear that the Bruce Lee at 32 is much more of a master than the Bruce Lee at 20 ever would be. That is very clear. You don't even have to meet the Bruce Lee at 20 to know that the Bruce Lee at 32 is a much more qualified master than the 20-year-old Bruce Lee. In the martial arts, your experience grows through time, and the only thing that might diminish a little bit is the physical, just a little bit, but not much, because as long as you keep maintaining your training, you'll still be very healthy, strong, and fit. But certain things, attributes, might not match up to what you were able to do in the past. But all of that kind of becomes irrelevant when you compare experience to what you were able to do in the past as far as physical is concerned. A martial art master, a true master, he continues to improve through time. So I don't know if I went a little off topic, but that's pretty much where I'm getting at, is that martial arts is a relationship between master and disciple. And if you're not a master yourself, then you shouldn't be teaching. At least, especially on a global level, like teaching the entire world on the internet, for example. But you could be a student sharing information of what you learned, but that also helps, or that also takes away from the martial arts industry. When you have a master that teaches, say, 10 students some basics of combat, and all those 10 students quit, and then they start teaching all their friends and family what they learned, and then none of the friends and family ever go to the martial art master, and then the martial art school shuts down, you're hurting the industry of the martial arts. it's a sad place to be if everywhere you go there's no real martial arts school, and then the only thing you could find is the stuff that you find online. That's a sad world. That's like having, everywhere you look there's no beautiful woman at all, and the only beauty that you see is from women in pornography. That's a sad world, you know, women in the computer screen, that you're getting aroused from these videos, but all the women in the videos already passed away from drug addiction, suicide, or whatever the case may be. They're all dead already. There's 100 women on the screen, all doing all these intimate acts and getting you all aroused, but none of them are even living. And then when you go outside, you step out the door, you don't see any living woman out there that's even attractive. That's a sad world to be in. And if there's no real martial arts schools out there in this world for people to actually learn face to face, build a relationship with the master of that school, if there's none of that available, we're really missing out a lot in this world. This is not just Amazon, the difference between buying something from Amazon and Walmart. You know, where you need a toothbrush really bad or toilet paper really bad, and you either get it in Amazon for half price or you go to Walmart and pay full price. But either way, you get the same product. This is not the same thing. You know, you're talking about a living relationship with the martial arts master. It only lasts for so long. Soon enough, you know, the master's gonna pass away, and you'll never have that opportunity ever again to learn from a real master. That's why everybody's so, you know, they're trying so hard to hold on to Bruce Lee's image and his energy, his movies, his books, because he was a real martial arts master for his age. And people know it. That's why they keep talking about him. That's why, you know, you still see videos with him. That's why he's so highly respected. Because a master like Bruce Lee back then doesn't come by often. You know, just like a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. doesn't come by often. A Malcolm X doesn't come by often. And that's the truth.